Do you have any stereotypes that people have put on you that you've had to break down the barrier for?
Sure. I feel like being Asian American, there's just not a, like, especially when I was growing up, there really wasn't a lot of just exposure to who we are as people, what that Asian American women in particular even really existed or had something to say. And so, yeah, I mean, my choice to be a poet and to be a musician was really driven by the desire to want to share my story and want to kind of bring visibility to an experience that I really didn't see a lot growing up in media.
What advice would you give to someone who's trying to find a way to tell their story?
Sure. Well, I started as a spoken word poet, and that's really where I found community and where I found my own real sense of self and kind of the confidence to know that my story was worth telling. And so I think the first thing I would say to any person that wants to express themselves is knowing that your story is worth telling, that you have something to say that the world has never heard. And so it's really important that every voice be heard. That also means that you have to be really thoughtful about including other people's voices, that it's not just about your voice as the best voice, but recognizing that the most powerful thing is when we can all come together in community and as a collective to be able to share and to listen to each other's perspectives. And so that's what I really feel like drives my artistry particularly. And you don't need to be like an insane singer, an insane musician, or like have like the craziest acting like on the planet. Like I really feel like it's all about recognizing and honoring the story that you have and then being led by what most excites you in terms of the medium that you put it out there.
Nice. So advice to our men. I know this is a summit to represent powerful women in the building. Advice to our men who are just trying to support us and rally us and kind of help us fight the fight of equality. What kind of advice would you give those men?
Totally. I would tell any guy that's interested in supporting us is first listen to us and listen to us in a real way, in a way where you're quiet and you listen to women. I believe us, believe that our stories are valid, believe that we have emotions that are validated and that should be heard and that aren't too emotional, but rather because of the oppression that we've experienced systemically and the fact that we very rarely have venues in order to be heard. And then invest in women. I think it's really important for men to invest what they have in women, recognizing that through the society they have kind of an unequal amount of whether that's wealth or support or credentials, like recognizing that it's important to spread the wealth and share the wealth, whatever that wealth may be, and invest in women.
Speaking of wealth, tomorrow is National Equal Pay Day.
Right.
And so as we know, the man makes $1 and women make 80 cents to that dollar. More specifically, that's just white women, yeah. African American women make 62, Latina women make 54. It seems to a lot of women and to a lot of people in general that it's so far-fetched. That's a hard gap to close. That's a very difficult gap to close. What would be your advice? What do you think needs to happen to just take that big jump or even a baby step to get in the right direction?
Well, I really believe that a lot of people think that they know systemic oppression and they think that they understand systemic inequality, but they really haven't done the work. Like just knowing, it's kind of like allyship. A lot of people will say that they're an ally, but allyship is not a title that you pronounce, it's a title that you earn through action. And so too do I feel like when it comes to economic inequality, so many men and women that are in power positions, I think, would say and parrot that they believe in equity, but it's really about the work that you invest in and what are you really doing that may inconvenience you or may even inconvenience your bank account to ensure that you are doing your part to fight systemic inequity when it comes to people and what they get paid.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to meet you.